Oh, Wasabi Gangsters, me, Chance Dillon here, sitting in a chair this week instead of on the windowsill. So that's new. I just wanted to share that with you guys. I decided to mix it up. Instead of reorganizing my chair, I put it in front of the camera this time. But I have reading news first. Okay, sort of not great news, not bad news. I need a break from SJM. I'm loving the Throne of Glass series. Okay, I'm going to BFN Empire of Storms currently. I'm about halfway through, actually almost exactly halfway through. I'm going to BFN it, which means bye for now. I really do feel like I'm I don't want to say burnt out on reading the series. I did tear through the first several books, and I wouldn't say the fourth was a slog, but I would say after Assassin's Blade, I sort of saw a dip in my enjoyment, and then it went back up by the end of Heir of Fire, and then, or Queen of Shadows, I think it was. But then I got to here. I did the tandem read last week. I told you guys I'm going to put down Tower of the Dawn because I feel like I'm not enjoying the tandem read as much. It's like harder for me to pick up the book. And then overall, it has just become harder for me to pick up the series, to pick up the book in general. And so I just sort of need, with writing a fantasy book also, this can happen. This is my first time like truly drafting in a while when it came to, because I drafted the second book and the first book within that first year roughly of writing them. And so, and most of the other time was spent redrafting, rewriting, editing, so on and so forth. And it was a bit easier for me to read during that time generally. But even with Malazan, I wouldn't read like two Malazan books in a row. And so for me to just start to tear through this series as is, which I enjoyed and I still am enjoying, I just need to put it down for a little bit and give myself a breath from it, if that makes any sense. And also, I'm reading Come With Me by Ronald Malfi. I'm over halfway through with this book, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. I spend I'll like go out and sit down on the water during sunsets and just sit there and read for a good bit, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's very, very nice. It's I don't need a break from fantasy generally. Like, I love fantasy. I feel like with my writing and where I was in reading this Sarah J. Maas book, I'm starting to see things maybe, I don't want to say they're showing up in my writing, but it's on my mind as I'm writing. And so I really want to sort of, I think Come With Me is a perfect palate cleanser. And I'm also a part of me. I want to go back to Empire of the Dawn. I'm intent on doing that. I probably will. I know that that's fantasy, but it's, it edges in the more darker territory, which maybe I need right now, just to like sort of like finish this trilogy. And then I have been wanting to read Pillars of the Earth for so long, and something about it is calling me right now. And so maybe I'm a bit of more of a mood reader than I anticipated, and I might do that. I might completely go nonfiction for a minute and do maybe The Dawn of Everything or The Art of Language Invention. But yeah, I just sort of want to see what I'm feeling like reading. And I do want to finish this series. I'm very interested in Throne of Glass and finishing that series and talking with it about it more with you guys. And I just need a breather, I think, from it. So Come With Me, very good so far. This story is, I told you the start of it, but I'll reiterate. Guy's wife dies, and he gets a box of her things from her job. And in that box is a receipt to a hotel that he has no idea where it came from. And so we kind of take off from there. We sort of, I don't want to ruin or spoil anything. I don't think it does, because she doesn't die in the way I'm about to describe, but there's a bit of a murder mystery in there. And it's very cool to kind of like get into this. Like it's not my usual genre. So I did read Black Mouth by Ronald Malfi, and again, thoroughly enjoyed it. I love Ronald Malfi's writing. He does introduce the second person in here quite a bit, and I don't hate it. I think it fits the story very, very well, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it so far. I am curious as to what other people will think of that. I should probably look up what Mike's Book Reviews thinks of it, but yeah, very much enjoying it. And then we get the big news, guys. Writing. The writing news is big. We are over the 100,000 word mark for the third volume of Mercy. This weekend, I'm intent on announcing the title of the third volume of Mercy. And if you guys have been following along recently, you know that I'm sort of battling with the concept of, do I make this third volume the final volume? Do I write it and see where we're at? I think in the beginning, I'm like, okay, this is, I feel like I can sum this up in a single book, which I did plot it out so that it can be summed up in a single book. I also plotted it out that it does have a natural breaking point if I did need to split the books. And as we hit the 100K mark, and we're just like halfway through into the second book, or book 2 technically. So book 1, book 2, book 3. If those of you who know my structure for my series know that that's sort of how I break my books up, my volumes up. And so I'm on chapter 22 of 73, and we're at 100,000 words. It feels like that at that chapter 45 mark, which is usually in the first 2 books, where abouts we start to see the end and the story wrapping up. From those volumes, I think the original plan of a 4-volume duology is still in effect. That said, if I get to chapter 45 and I'm like, I read the rest of the outline, and I'm going to keep writing as I let that first part simmer, and then I'll go back through that first part when I sort of have the instinct to do it. And I'm really looking forward to getting further in this process. At 100K words is just insane. At this point, it feels surreal. It feels like I'm hitting a stride, which is nice. I'm going to the coffee shop. I'm sitting down. I'm writing. It's very, very nice to do, and it's rewarding in its own way. And the stuff that gets unveiled is just fascinating along the way. Also, there's some new stuff happening. The Runeborn members have seen it. They don't exactly know what it is. I haven't determined that yet, but there's some things in the works here, guys. And then I was on the phone, and I'll say this, with Simon Vance earlier, literally before I filmed this. Simon Vance and I got on the phone and chatted, and it was just really cool. I'm so grateful to be able to see inside of his process. So the publisher reached out. They said Simon wanted to get in touch, and it's just really cool to see how he works and to kind of get to have a conversation and talk about this audiobook experience and how what he wants to bring to the performance, and just getting some clarity for himself on things before going into it. That way, he's not surprised by anything. It's very fascinating. It's very cool. I'm so freaking excited, guys. I can't even express it. This is just a big hurdle at this point that we're about to leap, and it's just so cool to see. Having looked at this mountain this whole time, is what I'll refer to it as, and sort of feeling like we're on the precipice of hitting a point where we're like, okay, it's just little things that make the story feel like it comes to life more and more and more, and it just keeps happening, and it is so cool, and you guys are to thank for that, and I cannot express enough gratitude to you all readers out there who have given the book a chance, who read it, who left reviews, who just read it, maybe told a friend, maybe didn't, maybe you just enjoyed it and had your experience with it, and that's fine too. I'm just grateful, eternally grateful that you did, and that you have, and that you are. And if you haven't and you've tuned into one of these videos, that also helps too. It's just every little thing. Thank you so much. And it's just so cool to see everything inside of this process of being a creator and being an author and a writer, especially considering it's sort of one of those things that's just hard to, I don't want to say hard, it's hard to identify with when you're not in that realm all the time. And I've been off social media, I haven't been on social media as much. And so it is hard for me to come to that realization, believe it or not, that is what I am. And this series, I'm so excited to finish. I'm so excited to tell this story, and then I'm excited for what's to come after. I'm living day to day, of course, with what I'm currently working on inside of this process, and I'm being present with that. Also, there's so many more stories to tell, so many fun characters to write, so many moments to write, so many eyes to see through, and that is one of those things that I just thoroughly enjoy about this process. So, thank you guys. I'm going to cut the video here, and then I'm going to do my short form. I'm sorry for those that I let down by BFNing Sarah J. Maas. For now. Again, BFN, bye for now. Not DNF. I'm coming back to it. I will at some point. Because it'll call back to me, whether I like it or not. So, all right. You all have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. And if you want to sign up to my newsletter where you get the exact word count, chancedillonauthor.com. Every week you get a newsletter. I do reflections, sometimes poetry, and I give you maybe sometimes a line or two from the book that I'm writing. And this week's newsletter is going to have the title of the book, the 3rd volume, in it. So that's pretty cool. I didn't hit the end button there. Tricked you. All right, I'll do it now.